It's me, Frank, on May 14th, 2020. Jen and I interviewed Scotty Kilwein, piano player extraordinaire from Jellyrolls. We had a little issue uploading here to YouTube on May 14th, so we thought we would share with you the unedited audio recording of Scotty talking about his time at Jellyrolls since 2002. So this is part one of two. We hope you check us out. This is Theme Park Thursday with Dillos Diz. She is Jen.
Hello.
And I am Frank, and we are here with another great guest.
Oh my God, I am so excited.
It could be, I mean, this is like a couple of weeks ago we had Louis Grabans on, so for me that was like a big deal.
Yeah.
But now for you, Jen,
yeah.
This is a huge one for you.
Sorry. We're trying to play it cool. Can we
All right, let's keep it cool. We'll keep it cool. All right,
we'll
totally keep it cool. Yeah. So if you have been to Jellyrolls over on the Boardwalk, you totally know who our guest is going to be. He is currently doing a multitude of live streams on Facebook, and they're totally awesome right now, especially during this crazy time we're living in. So I'm just going to cut to the chase and introduce him right now. Scotty Kilwein. Scotty, what's going on?
Hey, welcome. So excited.
Oh, it's so great to be here with you guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you for coming on. My goodness, this is big.
Hey, it's not like we have anything else to do.
I know, right?
Oh, this is a pleasure. Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm looking forward to talking to you guys. Thank you.
Yes.
Now, I will say that Jen was the one to first key me in to you, because Jen was living in Orlando during the mid 2000s there, so she was a frequent attendee of Jellyrolls more so.
And really, I think it might be, I don't think it was like my first bar I ever went to, but with mom and dad, I think it was the first bar I went to, because we were in Disney and I had like just turned 21 and we went to Jellyrolls. So I'm sure you were there at that point, and then that continued. And anytime I went down, like Jellyrolls was a place I had to go. It was one of my must-dos, Scotty.
That's awesome. It's funny because there are a lot of people that say that. All the generations seem to have fun at Jellyrolls.
Oh yeah.
You get the people that just turned 21, and then you get everything from there up to women that are celebrating their 80th birthday. It's the greatest thing. But the best is when the parents and the kids are having fun. I mean, you think of parents and kids at Disney World, but that's a whole different dynamic when your kids are 22, 23, 24 years old. It's a real fun experience to be at Jellyrolls.
Yeah, I think, and I had been for a few conferences for a company I previously worked for, and I was like, guys, we have to go to Jellyrolls. So whoever's going, if you want to be one of the cool kids, you got to go to Jellyrolls tonight. So I would take them all over there too, and we would go. But yeah,
Scotty, what year did you start over at Jellyrolls?
So I started in 2002. For the listeners who might not know what it is, it's a dueling piano bar. So it's 21 and older. It's a really special place at Walt Disney World because there aren't many places that are only for 21 and older anymore. They used to have Pleasure Island.
Yeah.
And now I can't really even think of another place that does kind of what we do.
That's true, with the level of entertainment. Yeah, totally.
And that's the thing too. So we're live entertainment. It's a nightclub. And it's located on the Disney Boardwalk resort. Yep. So it's not really connected to the parks unless you consider Epcot, walking distance. But it's kind of off the beaten track unless you're staying at the Boardwalk or unless you already know about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I remember when I was a cast member in the late 90s going to Jellyrolls with like a group of people that I worked with and things like that. So that's how, when you weren't going to like the Pleasure Island on Thursday nights, you went to like Jellyrolls on Saturday or something like that. So yeah, then for Jen, like totally
so it's like the same
lines time up. Yeah, totally lines up with your 21.
What? I don't do math. When was I 21?
You turned
2003. Is that right? Yeah.
You turned.
So yeah, it's dueling pianos, and what we do is all requests, and so mostly it's people that come in and sit down, and a lot of times they'll just kind of think they're going to stay for an hour or stay for a round of drinks or maybe two. It's a lot of fun to see these people that just stumble in and don't think they're going to stay, and they stay the entire night.
Yeah.
We're doing everything. We're doing all requests. So if the audience thinks of it, they write it down on a napkin. They tell us what they like, and we do everything from Sinatra, Journey, and Billy Joel, and Elton John, and even like now we're doing new stuff too. So I'm talking Katy Perry and Bruno Mars, and like those are the new classics now.
Yeah.
So
I don't think if I can speak properly, one of the things that makes me most nervous in life, I think, is putting a napkin on the piano. I'm like, oh, I don't want to be the one to go up. I'm so scared. I'm so scared. And I like sneak up, like, don't make eye contact, go sit down. I'm like, they
make it easier now, where the server will say, do you want me to take it up for you?
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, you don't have to get too nervous.
Yeah. Oh, we can't hear you. Nope.
Uh-oh, we lost
You just
him.
went silent. That's funny. Oh, there you go. You're back. I hear rumbling. We're a hot mess tonight. Nope.
Oh.
We just silent screaming.
We don't need him. Let's just
right.
talk,
Let's
man.
just keep going. I mean, we were. Oh my goodness. We were recording something last night, and I had told him to put on his good mic because he was using his headphones. He's like, I don't trust that mic with this computer. And now I think I'm seeing why. But
Oh no. Aw.
Can you hear me now?
yeah, but
Yes.
it's not great, but we hear you. It's fine.
No, that's not satisfactory.
That's not satisfactory. All right. Well, can I keep going yeah. Okay. So let's go from the beginning then, because you were telling me offline, you're originally from Pittsburgh, and that's kind of what got you to Jellyrolls. So can you tell us that story?
Yeah, I would love to. And I love this story. So Jellyrolls is a franchise. And so there were several around the country, Pittsburgh being the very first, and then Atlanta, Tampa. There was one in Texas. So now all of those have closed right now, except for the one that's at Walt Disney World. Okay. But being from Pittsburgh and knowing that Jellyrolls opened in 1992, I was a kid at that time. So I was like 5th grade, or I guess, no, 92, I would have been like 7th grade. So like I'm a kid. We're going down to where Jellyrolls is in Pittsburgh, and there's this giant piano, like a fake piano. It's got to be like 18 feet tall. And so I would walk past this as a piano player as a kid, and I was always like, what is that place? What is this Jellyrolls thing? So fast forward to when I was in college, I went down there, and now I'm 21 and I'm old enough to get in. And I went down and I said, hey, this is really cool. Can I audition? And they said, yeah. So my brother and I auditioned, and we were both studying music in college. And so we auditioned, and it was fun, and it was cool, and the guys were great. And they said, all right, yeah, so we want to hire you. And so we said, perfect. We're available June, July, and the beginning of August. And they're like, no, like we need like a full-time guy. This isn't a summer job.
Yeah.
And so
not an internship.
That's what we thought it was going to be. And they're like, no, you kind of need to be full-time. So my brother and I decided, we got to stick our nose to the grindstone and stick with college and really do this. We're committed to it. So after I graduated, I had a really hard time finding a job. I had a marketing degree, but had such a hard time finding any kind of a job. And this was September of 2001. Okay. So it was clearly a crazy time in the world.
Yeah.
So my sister told me about a place close to where I lived where they do dueling pianos. And she says, it's like Jellyrolls, but Jellyrolls had closed like a year and a half prior.
Oh, okay.
So I would play there on Friday nights, and it was all the same guys from Jellyrolls. And so I said, hey, can I sit in? And then they started giving me shifts. So it was a 1 night a week thing until one of the guys said, would you ever consider moving to Disney World? And I said, like, that's my dream. My dream is to work at Disney World.
Yeah.
And they said, well, there's a place called Jellyrolls in Disney World. And I was like, you gotta be kidding me. They said there's a slot open. And so if you want, I can give the guy your info. And I was like, I'm already going to Disney World next week. Like God. it was like a week and a half, like from that point. Yeah. And I'm like, this is totally meant to be. So I went, I auditioned, and it was, and I've been there ever since. That was 2002 by the time I got connected with those guys.
Right.
So I started May 2002. It was this week that I had moved down 18 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah. God. So anyway, I know that was long-winded, but I hope I got all the info in.
And we still don't hear you, by the way.
What about now?
Oh yeah, now we hear you. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Did you go to Disney a lot when you were a kid, Scotty? Or yeah.
Yeah, that was our annual trip. That was our big family thing.
See, we probably all were there at the same time.
Yeah. So we would always go, it would be Easter break when we were really little, and then it was spring break when we were in college.
Okay.
So, yeah, so that was always our thing. And of course, the craziest time to go is I mean, that Easter week and spring break and Christmas are the craziest times.
Yeah. And then going back even further, how long have you been playing music, playing piano? I see a lot of instruments behind you, so I'm going to say maybe piano's not the only one you play, but.
Well, I mean, it really is. Piano is my heart and soul. I play guitar. Like this guitar was given to me by my parents for Christmas. Okay. This was my dad's old guitar from when he was a teenager. This was a guitar that my dad bought like in the 80s.
Oh, awesome.
He didn't buy it. He won it at a raffle, like a school raffle. So like I don't know why we have like some shredding guitar. And then a ukulele I got on my honeymoon.
Nice.
I just kind of play them for fun. It's not for real. Piano is my real instrument.
Yeah. And when did you start playing piano?
My parents started me at 5. And that was the thing. Like you have to take piano lessons.
Yeah.
So I have 2 brothers. I've got a younger brother, I've got an older brother, and I've got an older sister who is 6 years older than I am. I know you guys have a lot of years between you. Yeah. So my sister is 6 years older, and she never really got into the music thing. My 2 brothers and I, like we were always making music together.
Yeah.
So
awesome.
Parents started us at 5, and of course I wanted to quit. There was a time, I think it was 6th grade, that like my piano teacher left town, and I started taking piano lessons from somebody else, and I hated it. And my parents didn't particularly like the teacher. And so I quit, and then went back to, like, my old piano teacher moved back to Pittsburgh, and we just happened to see him, and we said, hey, you're still teaching piano lessons. So got me back on track, got me ready for college, and I auditioned, and
That's awesome.
You mentioned your marketing degree. Do you write your own music? Were you and your brother making your own music, or are you just working on stuff that you love to hear?
Yeah. So that was kind of the idea was, I got a piano scholarship, and my older brother had a piano scholarship, and my younger brother got a percussion scholarship at the same school, University of Dayton in Ohio. Okay. And so the idea was, hey, they're paying us to go to school for music. Maybe we can get like a real degree while we're there. And so that was the thing. It wasn't even like it's a backup. It's like that was the legit way we were going.
Okay.
And the funny thing is that, we played music together and we always did that stuff. I just couldn't, I just couldn't not be a musician. For some reason, it just always was destined to be like, even though I got the marketing degree. And the thing about University of Dayton is they allow you to get multiple degrees in all kinds of stuff. So you could get an engineering degree and an arts degree, or things all around. So that was a really great opportunity, and I always thought that the music was going to get me through college, and the marketing was going to pay my bills.
Yeah,
and it just kind of was the opposite.
Yeah.
So yeah,
it's amazing.
Now, my brothers and I, we did write a lot of music back in college, and our dream was to kind of be like Hanson. That was like, we wanted to be, that was our thing.
It's kind of the image I had in my head as you started saying, you started writing music together. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So my brother is a fantastic, my brother Mike is an incredible piano player, and he's always been. I've admired him as a piano player. My younger brother was the drummer, and so and I would play keyboard as well. So we had 2 keyboards and a drummer, and we also had at that time we had a 3-piece horn section, because like ska was really big.
Yeah.
So the 6 of us, we had so much fun in college, and we put out 2 records, which was a lot of fun. We self-produced 2.
Nice.
And which was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's funny. So you mentioned the ska thing. So yeah, swing was, there was a lot of different genres of music like really hitting at the same time there,
That's
where
right.
there was like a transition between, 80s metal and, and pop and everything else, going into ska and the return to swing and the boy bands. So you were kind of right in that middle there, which made it.
Absolutely. Yeah, that was kind of our thing. Like, we thought if we could be kind of like Hanson with the pop sound, but like kind of like Squirrel Nut Zippers too, with like the horns and like the cool stuff. So we were kind of somewhere in the middle, and almost with like a Bare Naked Ladies kind of a humor to it.
Yeah.
So that was our thing.
Nice.
When you moved down initially and you started playing, did it just hit immediately, like the audience response? Was it clicking on all cylinders as soon as you got here, or was there some stumbling blocks along the way?
Well, you mean at Jellyrolls?
Anywhere. Living in Orlando, Jellyrolls.
Well, so when I play with my brothers, it is just, it's like kids playing. It's just organic, and it's perfect, and it's beautiful.
Yeah.
So there's something magical about that. So of course we had our terrible gigs. Everyone has. But we just tried to have so much fun in college playing together that, that was it. That was like the pinnacle of having fun on stage. So then, my brothers moved on to their careers, which ended up not being music.
That was going to be my question. If they're still,
So my one brother is in medical sales, and my other brother is in restaurant marketing.
Okay.
So now, luckily, they're both in Orlando now with me.
Okay.
So we had a good time. But when I first started at Jellyrolls, it was only me. I moved out of town from Pittsburgh, and I said, let's give this a go in Disney World. And it was rough the very beginning. Trying to figure out my personality on stage, trying to figure out how to interact with the crowd. And I always relied on my brothers, because we would have this organic back and forth. And it was just different that I didn't have them when I was at Jellyrolls. I was lucky to play with Ray, who was my partner for 15 years, I think. So we had a lot of good times together. So Ray was kind of like my third brother when it came to performing.
Yeah.
Generally, you mostly, because I guess that was part of my question too, because you were down there more often. So did you see Scotty with Ray most often?
Yeah,
I feel like,
so.
I just happened to see the same.
Yeah.
I never knew how the partners went, if it was always set.
Yeah, I think so. I think I did. And and even I feel like whoever the other two would be during the time, it always seemed like it was kind of similar, where I knew like, oh, if they're here, then they're probably here. Or, was it always like that, or was that just coincidence? Like the 4 each night, did that pretty much stay the same?
Yeah. It is always, it's always been 4 per night. on an occasion, if somebody got sick, we'd have to scramble, or we'll do 3 that night. But mostly it was 4 per night.
Yeah.
And everyone had their we could all play together, but everyone kind of had their preference on partners and who had the most stage time together.
Right.
So it always worked out that if Ray and I were there together, if we were there on the same night, we were always going to be together.
Yeah.
Because we had so much stage time together.
Nice.
What time do the players start playing? Is it 9? Is it? I don't know if I even remember.
We open at 7 and the music starts at 8.
Okay.
And so we've got 2 teams, and so the first team does the 8 o'clock, the second team does 9, first team does 10, then 11, then 12, then 1, and then we close at 2.
Wow. And how many nights a week are you there?
Usually it's 4 per week. It could be more and it could be less, but it's around 4.
Yeah.
We've got enough musicians on the roster where it's a really flexible schedule, and week by week is different. Like if somebody has if my kids have a recital on a Thursday or something, and I don't have to be like, I need to get someone to fill in for me Thursday. I just ask for it off,
Right.
Or, and then that way, if there are people that always come on Saturday night, if they happen to be local, then they'll see different players because it's not the same 4 guys every Saturday.
Right. That's cool.
See, now I have an outline. I had an outline. I sent Scotty an outline, and now I have questions that are just popping into my head left and right. On a typical evening between the requests and everything else, how do you break down who's going to play what when songs get taken off the board because somebody else requested it? How does that all shape out over the course of a night?
That's a really great question, because it's a moving target all the time. It's weighing all the benefits and negatives about everything. So let's say between the 4 of us, if somebody does a really great job on a song, then we'll make sure that that's the guy that sings it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If it's because we want to give the best show that we can, and we'll even say that to the audience as well. Say, hey, the guy that's coming up is really great at this particular song. So if you don't mind sticking around for, sometimes it's 30 minutes or 40 minutes, or it could even be if they request it right at the top of the hour. It's like, hey, if you can wait an hour, you're gonna trust me, you're gonna be really glad that you waited.
Yeah,
that guy does such a great job on it. So it's usually if there's somebody who does a really great job.
Yeah. And are you ever going off do you only do requests, or do you guys kind of have a few in mind that you want to do as well and kind of filter them in? Or
well, at Jellyrolls there's very little of that. It's I would say 98% requests.
Yeah, I mean, you guys get a lot of them.
And if it's something that we do have to choose, a lot of times it's because it was a request. Like the audience will say, play a song that you really like, play a song. So that is even still a request, even when we're picking them.
Right.
And I love it when the audience can give you a couple of their favorites and then kind of like an open-ended one as well, like Styx or Journey or anything from the 80s. So it's like, okay, well, they're gonna like Styx, they're gonna like Journey, and so you probably know they're gonna like Night Ranger or something too.
Right.
Like I think that's gonna be a good one.
Right.
So those are always fun as well.
And then the 4 of you, when you switch, you usually do a song together.
Yeah.
How is that typically the same song, or you guys know what that is going into it? How does that work?
Usually, well, see, now that one is probably more of a 60-40 split.
Yeah.
So 60% of the time it'll be because somebody requested it. And then the 40% will be like, hey, we're all here. Let's do a song that we really like to sing.
Yeah.
And maybe it's more of a 70-30 split. Because the audience does request those songs that we can sing together, and sometimes they know that we sing together, and sometimes they just really like that song.
Yeah, that's cool.
I find the first time I ever went to Jellyrolls when I was a cast member, the piano player did a mashup of Beatles' "Day in the Life" into Bohemian Rhapsody, which was like the craziest thing. Just that's what like sparked like my love for Jellyrolls and my love for the dueling piano situation in general. And so. In keeping that in mind, like, do you find yourself incorporating different themes into one another? Like, how do you keep yourself on your toes and mix it up for yourself creatively?
Yeah. Well, number one, I can assure you that's not the craziest thing. I can assure you, after being there 18 years, there's been some really, really crazy things, and it's fun. And gosh, one that I can think of in particular, and this was only about 2 weeks or maybe a week before the shutdown, and Disney World closed and the hotels closed. And so Disney World was closed. The hotels were closing. And so Jellyrolls is still open. And it's like, this is crazy. Like, why are we open? What are we doing here?
Right.
Yeah.
And the management said, look, these people are here. We have to give them something, and Disney isn't letting them ride Space Mountain, so we gotta do something for them.
Yeah.
So anyway, we must have had like 12 people at Jellyrolls, and you know how big Jellyrolls is.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
It's a lot more fun when there's more people. So there were like 12 or 15 people.
Oh my gosh.
And so it was like this. It was like a conversation instead of a show.
Yeah.
And so somebody said, I want to hear the song from Moana, How Far I'll Go, but I want you to sing it like Bob Dylan. I mean, at this point, it's like, I have no choice. I have to do it.
Yeah.
So they're all like, I've been at the edge of the water. And so, anyway, I wouldn't say even that's the craziest thing, but that's just an example of some of the crazy stuff.
But probably your most your most popular ask, I would assume, is Kermit. I mean, I mean, do you ever not get that request? I mean,
no, actually, yeah. Probably in the course of a week. I might only get it requested 2 out of the 4 days that I'm there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not bad. How did that come about?
So, okay. So when I started, so whenever a new piano player starts, it's a matter of, what does this guy already know? What does this performer already know? And what are they capable of learning? And what else can they bring to the table? So when I started, I said, what should I do? And one of the guys said, why don't you sing that Rainbow Connection song like Kermit the Frog? They used to have a guy that did that.
Okay.
And his name was Pete. But Pete hadn't been at Jellyrolls for a couple of years at that point. And he said, we're still getting requests for Rainbow Connection. So can you sing like Kermit the Frog? And that's when I
drag racing down my street. Sorry.
That's when I said, I've never tried to sing like Kermit the Frog, but let me see. And I did it, and they were like, that sounds just like it. And I was like, all right, cool. I guess I'll start doing that. And then it turned into, you have to do the Kermit the Frog thing. And so that turned into my thing.
Yeah.
It's awesome. Funny. That's the song that I danced with my mom to at my wedding. That was our mother-son dance.
That's cool.